This is going to be a pick a card full moon relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for this full moon in Capricorn. So while I'm speaking, have a quick look at the decks below and choose deck number 1, a deck number 2, or a deck number 3. Pick the one that resonates with you most, whether it's the colors, the imagery, just the general vibe. You may pick one, you may pick two, you may pick all three, and that's perfectly okay. Now we have the second full moon in Capricorn happening on July 21st, and you might notice a big difference between the previous one and this one. Right now we have a Neptune and Saturn retrograde, as well as being in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. So you will see that the energies are much more intense. The emotions are running much more high. It's this overwhelm that I think is coming through right now. For example, you may be crying for no reason at all. You know, you might just feel like your body's purging. There might be some stomach issues that are happening, you know, just general purging out of your body. I think that there's a lot of miscommunications that are happening, tempers flaring, things being talked about that you didn't anticipate talking about, and that's not totally a bad thing. We do need to discuss things that have been swept under the rug, but you know, it's all the way in which we handle it that's most important. So I would say that right now I would be very mindful of the way you're speaking, the tone, the reactiveness. What's most important is that we stay calm, cool, collected. I know that's not always easy and that we can't be aware in every single moment, but please do your best. I've heard many examples recently of people who have just popped off, you know, or who've had arguments or just miscommunications in general. And yeah, I mean, what can we say during this time? We know that there's a major shift happening. It's very uncomfortable. I would say generally the feedback I'm getting is that everything just feels so unstable and the unknown right now. And as soon as we feel unstable or we're not sure where things are headed, we panic. We say things, we do things, you know, we grasp at things. And again, I would just say try to stay in your own lane, meaning you can control your energy. You can't control other people's. So if you're around other people right now who are tense, angry, stressed, mad, whatever it is, you don't want to absorb that energy, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to do individual readings for each deck. I hope you've chosen your deck. So we're going to start with the deck number 1 here. Now, all 3 decks that I have in front of me are Moonology decks. This was the first Moonology deck to come out. This was the second, and this is the third. So all in the same series. So I'm going to put these other 2 decks to the side, and we're going to start with deck number 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some overall themes or messages for this full moon and your relationship. And what we're going to be doing is looking at what's in the head space, the heart space, and spiritually, you know, what's going on between the two of you. Now, let's look at these overall themes and messages for deck number 1. Please let me know in the comments which deck you chose and if it resonates. So, overall theme and message, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Well, there you go. Full moon in Capricorn. You can't get any more on point. So, Capricorn energy is about dotting the I's and crossing the T's. It's getting stuff done. It's being responsible. Let's see what else you need to know. Show the world the real you. This is a time where things are coming to light. Living your authentic truth. And the other message here is a win-win outcomes forecast, which is lovely to hear. Okay, so we want good things. Let's get the tarot and see what's going on mentally right now between the two of you. What's going on in the headspace that we need to know about? And we have here conflict. Okay. 5 of Wands is kind of this like should I, shouldn't I kind of vibe. It's almost like an escalation of emotions or feelings. And the reason I say that is because I see these layers, you know, and I always talk about this. if you say something and then they say something and then you retaliate and then they retaliate, it just compounds. And that's something right now that you just don't want. So you might have these feelings in your headspace where things are escalating. You're at a boiling point. Maybe your person, or maybe the two of you are just bickering at each other, you know, even telepathically. Have you been finding yourself having conversations in your head going, you know, MFCSPOS? That's an acronym that I can't repeat on this platform. But if you follow me regularly, you know what that term means. But in other words, it's just sort of like, you know, speaking to yourself and being angry about something, you know. Let's see what else you might know. Okay, Page of Swords. There's some spying or observing that's happening. Be very careful. Maybe there's some separation or some silence, whatever, and you're checking in on each other. It feels like somebody's watching, you or them. And with that, we have here the Ten of Swords. You got to let something go. There's something that's been just overthought, you know, ruminated a million times over. And Ten of Swords says it's time to let that go. It's dead, done, and over with. And with that, the Strength card. Trying to find your strength and your courage to push forward. Okay. Interesting. This reminds me of my red heart pendant, you know. Being heart-centered, super important. And we are about to go into Leo season. I talked about this last night on the full moon Zoom. And yeah, this is a shift happening. You know, we're already, I can't even believe it. Like, we're already in the second half of the year. Like, I just can't imagine that we're here already. I keep repeating that, you know, the days, the weeks, the months are moving so quickly, but the process is moving slowly. And that's part of the frustration. You know, that's part of what's making everything so difficult. Sorry, I just want you to be able to see the cards. Okay, let's take a look at the heart space. What's going on in the heart? The Knight of Pentacles. Well, oh boy, this is a real Kelly moment here. Trust the process. And I've been mentioning this card a lot recently, that the Knight isn't even on the horse. That's what I mean. The process is moving slowly. Like, the horse is probably moving faster than the Knight. But the thing here is that all we can do really is trust the process. Well, what option do we have? Now, with that, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is about trusting your intuition, but be very mindful that you're not overgiving, because overgiving, overdoing, problem solving just prolongs everything. If you know the cake analogy that I've posted, you know, every time you reach out, every time you're chasing something in this connection, it will bring you right back to the beginning or back to the bottom of the cake. And we don't want that. You know, we want progress. We don't want to chase anything. We want to attract it. So with this, we have here the Ace of Pentacles. Allow the seed to grow. I know that it's painful sometimes. And, you know, ultimately there are circumstances where, yes, I'll advise, okay, maybe it's time to move on, right? It really depends. It's unique to you and your person. You know, if you've been waiting for a very long time and it's just not moving forward, well, then that's up to you to make some moves or make some boundaries. If this is a very fresh connection, you know, a few weeks, you know, a few months even, then okay, I can understand, you know, being patient. But remember, patience isn't necessarily waiting. It's living your life. It's doing what you got to do, right? But when a seed is planted, you're getting to know somebody, you're growing. That's the whole point. You're growing. You have to let that seed grow and harvest, okay? But it takes time. And with that, we have here the King of Cups. We have counterparts. So you might be water signs. You don't have to be. That's that Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But essentially, it's about emotions. You know, ultimately, we're talking about matters of the heart here. So being in tune with your emotions, you've got to trust yourself. You have to trust the process. You have to respect yourself. You have to respect the process. You know, again, this is not something that happens overnight. So let's see what's going on spiritually here. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, spiritually there, I talked about it, the seed. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes or under the surface, right? The plant is growing, but we have to nurture that plant, okay? And let's see what else we need to know here. The Page of Pentacles. Well, this is about studying and learning, you know, learning from past experiences. And on top of that, that could be an offer of some kind, you know, an offer of growth, even recognition coming in. But be careful that you're not holding yourself back spiritually. Let me remind you that feminine energy leads in the 5D and masculine leads in the 3D. So if you're finding that you are 10 steps ahead of your person, the reason for that is because you've been through a lot of the things that they're maybe now going through. You have the experience, and you have to resist the urge to hold yourself back and wait for them. Also resist the urge to overgive, overdo, and problem solve for them, because I'm telling you, it does not work. And I say this from experience. You know, I said this recently to somebody, that there's one piece of advice that I wish people knew. And I've said it a million times, and I know that it's hard to understand until you've experienced it yourself. But that is, the more you try to hold on to someone or something, the more it runs away from you. If you detach your energy and put yourself first, and genuinely, by the way, with pure intentions, not doing it because somebody will come back, you will be rewarded. You will get what you want or better. But again, it takes time and maybe experience to learn that. Let's see what other card we need to know here. Three of Cups. Three of Cups is about celebration. Like, do you want to celebrate? Do you want to have that outcome? And I'm going to give you a thought-provoking question here before I take a last card for guidance. And that is, I want you to think about your readiness. If you are finding that your person is not ready, or they communicate, for example, that they're not ready, or they don't have the capacity or whatever, ask yourself about your readiness, because oftentimes we will choose somebody who's not ready because we're not ready. We may think that we want more and that we want this connection to move quicker and whatever, but if it really came to you right now, like right now, this moment today, you got a call, you got a text, you got an email, whatever, or somebody showed up at your door, would you be absolutely 100% ready? Because oftentimes we think we're ready, or we have what I call perceived openness. Now, these are really beautiful cards. You know, just to quickly recap for a second here, that in the headspace, yeah, there's a bit of conflict, and we got to recognize that something's ending, and those could be old traumas, triggers, and hurts. We have to have the strength to move forward, and we don't want to play games here in regards to spying or observing. In the heart space, if we want this union, you know, these counterparts here, well, that means trusting the process and letting the seed grow. We can't be an instant gratification. We have to recognize it does take time. And spiritually, that's what's happening. You're being offered something really beautiful from the universe here, massive lessons and knowledge. But if we're holding ourselves back, how are we going to celebrate? If you really want to celebrate, then you've got to be your best self and be as open as you possibly can. So, that being said, let me take a keynotes card. These are such beautiful cards. They were given to me as a gift by a lovely friend of mine, follower of mine. Let's see what deck number 1 needs to know. And we have create. Look at this beautiful bee energy. This could be a symbol for you or a sign for you. Bees are about diligence and hard work. So this says create. Be kind to yourself. This card is telling you to take the time to write your own story or create something you want to bring into your life. Intention. What do you intend to happen? Watch your thoughts, stay positive, law of attraction. You will manifest what you're putting out to the universe. Focus on what you want, not what you do not. Use your creativity to manifest your desires. I am now creating and manifesting abundance, health, prosperity into my life. Number 33. So that could be an angel number that you're seeing. So take a minute and reflect on what we've just seen and what I've spoken about, and let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Does this resonate with you? Okay. So I'm going to take these cards and put them off to the side, and we're going to go to deck number 2. So let's do that. Okay. Now, let's take a look at deck number 2. So let's see what are the overall themes and messages. And we have keep your heart open. Isn't that funny that I just said that? If you were watching deck number 1, maybe there's some messages in that reading for you. So keep your heart open. All right, what else? Forgive. Let go of things that no longer serve you. Don't let the past traumas, triggers, and hurts keep you closed. Walls are very different than boundaries, and I talk about this frequently. If someone puts up walls, there's no movement, there's no growth. That's not a boundary. Boundary means you have a line, and you maintain that line, but you continue your growth and evolution and change for the better. And this says, see, focus on the positive. Okay, so are you in good spirits? Are you positive? Or are you negative? You know, don't focus on the things that you don't want. And that's kind of funny. It goes right back to the first deck that I pulled. So let's use this deck here. This is the Crystal Visions Tarot. Let's look what's going on mentally in the headspace between you and your person. And there's the Page of Cups. Page of Cups could be early stages of something new. It can also be a reminder to believe in miracles, right? Focus on the positive. Be open to what's coming your way. Make the power moves. There's the Emperor energy, right? We're here to play chess, not checkers. We're not here to go backwards. We're not here to go left or right. Or I always say, don't make lateral moves just for the sake of making a move. Don't displace one thing into another. And maybe that's another comment that I have to make in general here. And that is, I find that people will just displace themselves. They'll move something from one area of life to another. You know, you'll struggle with one boundary here, think you've addressed it, but then really just move it somewhere else. It's almost like a bank account when you're shuffling money. Yeah, you take money from one account to pay the other, and you bring that other balance to zero. But even though you've put that balance to zero, the money that you just shuffled from somewhere else, right, has been added elsewhere, if that makes sense. So just be mindful of where you're putting your energy. And here we have the Lovers. So, you know, matters of the heart are on the brain. And, you know, sometimes the longest journey is from the head to the heart. So right now, these are very positive cards. You know, this is saying, I believe in miracles. I'm going to make moves. This is a beautiful love connection. And there's the Knight of Wands. Well, somebody's got some passion in the pants. And interesting that the Sagittarius card is right above the Sagittarius card here. You know, this is all about motivation. Now, let's take a look at the heart space. What are the feelings here? And there's the Five of Cups. Okay, so where's the sadness and disappointment, or where's the grief? Sometimes, you know, we're grieving old stuff, you know. Let's see what else. Ace of Cups. This is a reminder to you to fill your own cup. You have an early stage of something really nice emotionally. And the Eight of Cups is telling you to walk away from things that no longer serve you. You know, it's pretty interesting to see this, because in the heart space, right, which is emotions, look at all the cups. If you're feeling very emotional today, there you go. There's your confirmation. Let me know in the comments if this is you. And there's the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is growing, it's shifting, it's expanding. And I'm finding it so interesting. This column here is like Sagittarius, because this is Jupiter, growth, expansion, good luck. You have to shift yourself out of any old stuff. I feel like the head knows, you know, the head wants it. It's like, yeah, okay, I believe in this. I'm going to make that move. This is love. Oh, I'm motivated. This is hot, you know. But for some reason, the heart has these old wounds that are coming to the surface where it's like, you got to get out of this grief. You've got to fill your own cup. You got to walk away consciously from those things that don't serve you, and let yourself shift. Allow the good luck in. You know, it's one thing to ask for it, another thing to allow it. And spiritually, we have here Six of Wands, victory. Beautiful. Recognition and victory. And there's the Strength card, finding the strength and the courage to get through the spiritual journey. I mean, the spiritual journey is lifelong, right? It never ends. I mean, it is a part of us. But at the same time, you know, you've got to know to dig deep. And there's the devil. You're going to be tested and restricted. Every time you want to make a move, you're going to be tested. Something from the past. I'm so confident in that. I'm willing to bet that the moment you want to move forward with something, boom, there comes the birthday, you know, the numbers you're seeing, the signs, the synchronicities. Somebody calls you up, somebody wants to talk to you, and it's because you're doing different, right? So if you want to be in the good energy of the good luck, etc., then you got to have the strength, the willpower to push through those restrictions. I mean, the devil card is Capricorn energy. Maybe this full moon is testing you because it is in Capricorn, of course, and there's the Hierophant. I think what you have to recognize is that it's a slow process. You know, it means taking methodical steps, making moves, and it's ascension. And you can't let anything really get in the way of your ascension. Now let's take a keynotes card here to see what last guidance you need to know. And there, look at the sunflower. The sunflower is right down here. You know, it's like looking towards the sun, right? As in, the sun is divine masculine energy. It's moving forward, and this is warmth, okay? Desperately in need of some light and warmth, your energy field may be similar to a flower needing the sun. Sometimes we feel down. It's difficult to find purpose, especially in winter with its long, dreary days. Most of us feel light and happier when it is bright and sunny out. It just seems easier to deal with life situations on a sunny morning. The sunflower is a symbol of hope, happiness, and renewal. Spend time visualizing yourself outside, sitting in your favorite place under the warmth of the sun. Bring forth the energy you need to rejuvenate yourself, filling up your senses. Number 32. 3 plus 2 is a 5. Big changes. So take a moment, reflect back on what we just talked about. Let me know in the comments if this resonated. Okay. I'm going to take these cards away now, and I'm going to go to deck number 3. I appreciate you listening to this reading. Please don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. It really means the world to me and helps me with my videos. So let's take a look at, oops, I thought that was going to move and it didn't want to go. Deck number 3. Okay, let's take a look at the overall themes and messages. Okay, so for deck number 3, this is telling you to accept responsibility. Where have you been? Where are you now? And where would you like to be? This is telling you to embrace uncertainty. It's okay to not know. It's okay for things to be a mystery. That's the beauty of things. It's like a gift. Would you really want to peek at your gifts before you open them? And there you go. Changes are happening. That's pretty on point. Okay. Let's take a look at the tarot. I think this is the Mermaid's Tarot. Let's see. Let's see what's going on mentally. What's going on in the headspace. And we have here 5 of Swords, conflict. Somebody's got a headache. Okay. There's the 10 of Swords. There's something that is needing to end. 10 of Swords means you couldn't have any more swords in your back, basically. It's something is dead, done, and over with. And that doesn't mean that the relationship has to be dead, done, and over with. It just means a cycle has got to end. The 7 of Cups, you might be having very vivid dreams. I know I am. But this also can be about not making a decision about something. It's like confusion. It's illusion. Now, it's interesting because Neptune is in retrograde, and Neptune is all about dreams and illusions, right? But with a retrograde, it's almost like there should be some clarity there, you know? So let's see what else we need to know. The Page of Cups, you got to believe in miracles. And we just saw that actually with the deck number 2. There's some similar vibes between all the readings. I don't know if any other ones resonated with you or if you watched the first two. But I just want to go back to the Seven of Cups here for a second. Seven of Cups, like I said, is like confusion at times, not knowing what to do. But not making a decision is a decision, So if you've got a headache and something's got to end and you're not doing it, I would put it to you this way, just from observation. You've got 2 swords, 2 cups. The swords are thoughts, communication, and here you've got emotions. It's almost like there's a disconnect here between the head and the heart. It's almost like you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What do I do? Do I follow my head? Do I follow my heart? Is it intuition or is it anxiety? Like there's that kind of vibe. Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. And in your heart space, the Chariot is telling you to move on, move forward. Victory. Don't you want to feel that victory? And see, the 8 of Swords. One moment it's like, oh, I'm going to go for it. And the next minute it's like, oh, should I, shouldn't I? It's the illusion of mental entrapment. And there's the Emperor. See, I'm really curious to see what the next card is going to be. Because this is like all systems go. Yeah, I'm not sure. And then you've got the Emperor that goes, yeah, no, let's make a power move here. You know what I mean? And yeah, 10 of Wands. But I'm tired. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally exhausted. I understand the tiredness now. It is real for sure. Everybody's feeling exhausted. But my point is this. Feel what you feel and rest if you need to rest. But you can't stop. I gave the analogy recently. It's like trying to run a race, where if you were running, I don't know, if you were running a long distance race and you stopped halfway through, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, how likely are you to get back and run? When you have momentum, you got to keep going. You got to strike while the iron is hot. And this to me is a lot of contradictory energy, swords, cups, go, stop, go, but I'm tired. It's a lot of exhaustion. And the best advice I can give you is to surrender, right? Let go, let God, let the universe take the wheel. Don't try to control everything. Trying to control it doesn't help anything. It does the complete opposite to what you want. So let's see what's going on spiritually. 5 of Pentacles, 5-5. Big change ahead. You might be having a tower moment. So you might have this feeling of being left in the cold. Like, why? Like, why is this happening? And I've been saying to people a lot lately that it's time for you to warm yourself up, to find that spark within you. And there's the 9 of Swords, worry and anxiety. I've seen these cards a lot lately. And with that, we have here the Queen of Swords. So spiritually, you've got boundaries to make. You've got to cut things out that no longer serve you. It's a long road. King of Pentacles is someone who's in it for the long haul. It's not an easy one. Not an easy road at all. Nobody ever said this would be easy. And I think that's the problem, is that we get frustrated because it isn't easy, because we have to be strong, because we've got to maintain a motivation. And it's very frustrating. So let's take a last card of guidance here to see what we need to know. Beautiful. I love this card. Soulmate. You pulled this card to validate you are a soulmate to whoever you are thinking about, or a soulmate will come into your life soon. This can represent an intimate relationship or someone you have a lot in common with. Soulmates can be anyone to whom you feel a deep connection, whether you just met or have known for a long time. Our greatest wisdom, growth, and love come from these deep relationships. I look forward to sharing my life and new experiences with my soulmate. So just know that you can have many soulmates. There isn't just one. I get a lot of questions from people that say, are they the one? Many people can be the one. Okay, so all I would say is this. Accept responsibility for where you've been in your relationships. Be open to the fact that new things are coming. There are changes coming, but if you want different, you have to do different. And the thing about this particular reading, it just feels like there's a lot of driving with your foot on the brake. And I use that term often, where it's like you're confusing the energy. Because if in one moment you're saying, yeah, I'm open, and then like you're hitting the brakes, you've got to ask yourself why. And a question that I asked earlier in the reading, maybe if you want to go back and watch some of the other ones, I talked about this. Are you really ready? Are you really open? Because if you're finding that your person isn't ready or things are not moving forward, subconsciously it could be because you actually don't feel ready either. Even though we want someone to give us validation or to lead us, or to make us feel safe. And I get that, believe me. I want that too. We all do. But at the same time, it's up to you. Feminine energy leads in the 5D and masculine energy leads in the 3D. So if you're spiritually ascending, making boundaries, going about this journey slowly and steadily, yes, I understand the worry and anxiety. It's natural. But if you're feeling left out in the cold, that can be a bit of that energy that says, well, why me? Why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? Well, you're getting tower moments because it's trying to wake you up. It's trying to spark new energy in you. Okay? So if this feels like something you recognize, maybe watch the video that I posted recently here on YouTube about why I say sparked versus twin flame journey. Or maybe watch the video that I recently posted about angel numbers and why angel numbers can actually hold you back versus pushing you forward. It all depends on your perspective, So I really hope that this resonates with you. Please let me know in the comments, which deck you chose, which one resonated with you, or if you watched more than one. Like I said, you could have watched all three. It's totally up to you. But as per usual, thank you so much for your kindness, your support. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me with my videos. Thank you again, and I wish you an amazing full moon in Capricorn.